Hello there, everybody. My name's Dune Johnson, otherwise known as Looney Dooney. You can see my magician sign back there. I'm a full-time entertainer, clown, juggler, magician. I was one of the Ronald McDonalds of the world. That's my 20-year Ronald shoe right back there, bronzed. But I'm here to talk about drive-in bingo. So for about the last 6 or 8 years, I've been doing bingo shows where I do bingo with stunts and quiz questions in between each bingo game. But since COVID hit, everything in the entertainment business shut down for the most part, except for one thing. We started doing these drive-in bingos where people would drive in, stay in their cars. We would run the same kind of bingo show, and it's been really fantastic, and everybody's had a good time. They're safe, they're socially distant, it gets us all out of our houses, and they're a lot of fun. Everybody loves bingo, so I just thought I would take a moment to tell you a few of the things that I do, having a few years experience doing this to hopefully help you put on a show and have a good time yourself. Now, I made a blog with all of the suggestions that I have, and it's all pretty much there, links to where to buy equipment, etc. But this tape is mainly for those of you who are maybe going to run the show, who are going to be the host. So I just wanted to let you know that one of the things that does happen with bingo shows is that the people running it are very regimented, even toned in their voice. They're B7, 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 and that's all that happens. And it doesn't mean that the excitement of the show doesn't happen if you win, if you get to be the one that says bingo. But I have found a couple of little hints to kind of, I think, make it more enjoyable for everyone. So the first thing is relax, take some deep breaths. The idea is to get people together, have a good time. Yes, we'll have some winners, but most of the people will be losers. So you want to have a good time whether you win or lose. So the way I do that, and the first thing I suggest that is you plan on having a good time. Okay? Relax. Enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Even though it is a little stressful to be the one running it, don't worry. You're out there with a group of friends usually. They're usually from your church or your school. And you want to just relax and have a good time. If you know the people, joke with them. If you have a certain story that's comfortable to tell the story. Be conversive with your audience. Don't just be robotic and call bingo numbers. Okay? So I don't know most of the people that I work with. So I have to do it with my entertainment skills, right? They're not friends of mine per se. But I do it. I get it started right away. So here's a couple of things that I do. Like I said, first, relax. Second, get the people used to interacting with you. Since it's drive-in bingo, we can't hear people yell bingo in their cars, especially if they have their windows closed. So have them honk as a bingo. So that's one of my warm-ups. I say, if you get a bingo, what do you do? Honk. If we want to have applause for somebody, what do you do? Honk. And I get them kind of call and response back to me to get them motivated. One of my great mentors, David Ginn, published in a book called Kid Biz, a hand-raising thing. Do you like being here? Have you ever been here before? How old are you? What's your sister's name? Do you want me to stop raising my hand? And people follow along. So you do the same thing with honking. What do you do if you get a bingo? What do you do if you want applause? What do you do if, it's a sudden eclipse of the sun? I don't know. I just threw that out because it's kind of silly. Silly is my way of handling things, by the way. So one of the other things that I do is you have to call a lot of bingo numbers. So early on, I call each number 3 times. B4, 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 and you want to be clear, but you can change the tonality of your voice. G46, yes, that's right, G46. G, I wish it was another number, but it's actually 46. right? You don't have to be robotic. You can change things up. Also, you know, say you've called 10, 12, 15 numbers. Pause, take a break. Ask, is there anybody close? Is there anybody down to 2 numbers? Honk, 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 honk. Is there anybody down to 1 number? Honk, 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 honk. I find that this does 2 things for me. It slows the game a little bit because sometimes the games can go really fast if all you're doing is calling numbers. And the second thing is it builds people's excitement. If there's one person who's down to 1 number, people are, you know, they want to get their number, they want to catch up. If there's 10 people who's down to 1 number, 10 cars that are down to 1 number, now everybody's on edge. Who's going to get it first, right? So I take time to say things like that throughout the game, especially the more people that get close, you know. Or I'll say, you know, I'm doing 75, 75, 75. Okay, who's down to 1 number? Everybody's down to 1 number. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. I'm going to slow down. I-18. Who's got it? Who's got it? And you just play with that a little bit, right? You don't have to be so robotic. You can have fun with it. And it is more fun to slow that part down when it gets closer. Now, one of the things that does happen is sometimes you get a tie. 2 people or 3 people might get bingo at the same time. If you're using the paper sheets like I use and they're all colored, then usually you're fine if they're all in the same color. But if people get the colors mixed up, if one person's playing the blue game, one person's playing the green game, they might get the exact same cards, okay? In that case, I give them each a new card and we have a playoff. But if 2 people do get bingo, which does happen sometimes, or 3 people, what I do is I just have a playoff. I bring those 3 cards up, those 2 cards up, I check them and make sure that they're a good bingo. And then I keep calling numbers. And if both cards, you know, just for these winners, if both cards or all 3 cards have that number, they all move on. If none of them have that number, they all move on. You keep playing until one card has the number and the other card doesn't, and now you have your actual winner. Okay? If that happens, you just have to have a playoff to get down to the 1 prize. Unless you have a prize that you can split. I mean, if you're doing cash, you know, cash prize of $100, you could split it up between 2 people, right? But we usually give away prizes or gift cards, so that's not always possible. So you do have to get it down to the 1 winner. All right, so one of the other things that happens to me, because I call a lot of bingo games, in this last month here in San Diego County, I've done 15 bingo shows, okay, in the month of January 2021. And, you know, I'm calling number after number when I'm doing 10 games per show. Sometimes I make a mistake. I'll look at B4 and I'll say B4, B4. And then I go to put it in my little tray, and I see that it's B14, not B4. So there's 2 ways to handle that. You know, number 1, don't get upset at yourself. It's no big deal. People don't care if you make a mistake. What they care is they want a fair game. Okay, that's all they care about. So if I call B4 and the number is actually B14, I will give everybody both numbers. Because when I called B4, everybody marked it. If it's actually B14, you have to call it and everybody will mark it. So what you do is say, oh, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. It's actually B14, but everybody gets both numbers. B4 and B14 are both good numbers. And then you have to go back when you're remembering to check the game to make sure that you give them B4 as a good number as well. But you can do that because it doesn't happen very often. So that brings up another thing. I check every single game to make sure I have a winner. Remember, people just want a fair game. So when you buy equipment, make sure you get a little board, this has little holes in it, to put the balls in. All right? So if you call B6, you just put it in there and you go on to the next number. Then when somebody gets bingo, you can just look at this and you can check. B6, has it been called? Yes. I7, has it been called? Yes. So it makes it pretty easy. I check every single game to make sure somebody is the actual winner, because sometimes people mistake. They might hear a number, they make a mistake. They might hear a number wrong, or they just might not mark it, and you can't, you check that, and if it's not a winner, you guys keep going. You keep playing. So the kit that I gave you on the link has a little tray. So make sure you buy a kit with a little tray so that you can check them. Or if you're using the bingo cards, the playing cards that have the numbers on them, lay them out on the table so you can see what's been called, so you can go back and check the winners. Okay, so one of the other things I do is I make up cards with bingo games on them, right? This would be how I explain regular bingo. 5 numbers in a row in any of the columns, the B column, the I column, the M column, free space. But I have a picture to show people, right? I got this on the internet, I printed it out, and I laminate it. You don't have to laminate it, you can just print it if you're not going to reuse it over and over again. This here, I turn it sideways to talk about columns, so 5 numbers in the column, or diagonal, either that way or that way. It doesn't matter as long as it's diagonal. Okay, so I just use these to help explain the rules of the game. This is the letter L, if you want to do the letter L. If you wanted to make it look like a letter L, that's harder for people to get. You could also do a crazy letter L, which means it could be any 2 bingos that are joined in the corner. Doesn't matter. The letter X, 2X bingos, right? Forming the letter X. Notice that the only N that's used is the free space, so you don't even have to call N numbers when you're calling the crazy X. These games get a little bit more complicated and they take a little bit more time. 4 corners bingo. All you're looking for is the 4 corners, right? But if you mix up the games, it makes it more fun, it makes it easier, and just take the time to really explain it before you start each game. Also, another easy game that's pretty easy is any double bingo, any 2 bingos. I use that a lot because it's easy to explain, it slows things down a little bit. The reason I say that is I can adjust how much time the game takes. I can do short games with regular bingos or longer games with the letter X if I want to, adjust my time to make the show last exactly how long I want them to last. One of the other things I wanted to talk about was the Rebus cards that I mentioned on the blog. I made up these cards with Rebus puzzles. Okay, they're picture puzzles that use words and pictures. All right, this is ones over time. Oh no, once upon a time. Once upon a time. Bigfoot. Bigfoot. You're under arrest. You're under arrest. So I just print these up. Again, I print them up and laminate them, but if you're only doing it once, just print them. It's easy. Mainly have fun, okay? So again, just to let you know, you announce whatever prize you're playing for, you announce the game that you're going to play, and then you call numbers. In between, you pause, you ask who's getting close, you make jokes about B4, I call the next number, or whatever you want to do, but really just try to relax and have fun. Then if there's a winner, you check to make sure it's good, and if it is good, you have your runner run out the prize to the car, and you go to the next game. You tell everybody to tear off that page, and you go to the next page. So I hope you guys have a great time. Every time I do these shows, my audience tells me how much fun they've had. That's why I'm sharing this. I'm doing these in San Diego County, and if you want to give me a call, I can set up one for you. And, I do charge for my time. But if you're in any place else in the world, you can use all the information on this blog to throw one yourself and have a great time that is safe, that's distanced, that gets us all out of the house. And you can acknowledge all that while you're talking to the audience. Thank goodness we get to get out and play and have a good time. I did threw my wife a 75th birthday party because we couldn't do anything else, right? So we had a bingo party, and it rocked. It was totally awesome. So I hope you have a great day. I love you guys, and let's just keep spreading safety and joy and fun throughout the world. Okay? Have a good day.